I think our connection is reestablished. Let's get Farnaz Fassihi on the phone with a story about Iran cracking down on internet freedom there. Farnaz, I was going to ask earlier, is this related to increasing global pressure on Iran over its nuclear program?
I think it's definitely related. I think there's several things happening. There's increasing international pressure on Iran and possible sanctions of Iran's oil by the European Union. There's also parliamentary elections coming up on March 2nd in Iran, and I think the authorities are very worried that there might be protests there. So they don't really want information to get out of Iran, and they're trying to clamp down on communication between Iranian people and the outside world.
Farnaz, it's Evan Newmark. I have a question. When you speak to people in Tehran, from the outside, from the U.S., we look and we go, how do the Iranian people put up with the repression? How do they?
Remember, they were among the earliest protesters in the whole.
Well, I want to ask, what is, what is the population, if you could term such a thing, what is their reaction to these kind of increased repressive measures?
I mean, I think that you don't see street protests because the government has been successful in repressing the sort of street protests that we saw in 2009 and 2010, and the cost of protests have increased in Iran. Lots of people have been jailed. Students are banned from studying, and people are losing their jobs. So I think they've crushed street protests and the opposition to some degree. But I think what's happening is just brewing dissent. I think that it's a simmering resentment, and probably the next opportunity they get, it will erupt again.
And Farnaz, some of the measures here include security cameras in internet cafes. You report that a lot of internet websites have already seen traffic slowed considerably. Iran's developing a parallel intranet to comply with halal and make it more attractive to people and obviously easier for them to crack down on. How far does this go beyond what conditions are currently like? Are these really going to be noticed and, as Evan suggests, really strongly reacted to by the Iranian people?
I think so. I think that it's going to make it very difficult for activists and dissidents to send their messages out and the reports out. I think that it's going to affect what they do because it's going to be difficult for them to stay anonymous. I mean, it's quite extraordinary measures. They require people at internet cafes to register with their national ID, which is like a social security card, so they could be traced. And then the internet cafe owners have to keep the log of all the websites and IP addresses that users visited and keep it on file for 6 months. So it's really unprecedented surveillance on internet activity.
And it's not going to help Iran when it's trying to make the case to basically about its nuclear program, that it's for domestic purposes and that generally it's
Are they even trying to make that case anymore?
Good question. Farnaz Fassihi on that story, important one. More details on her story. It's an exclusive on WSJ.com. Just to recap again, the U.S. economy with a stronger than expected jobs report. Can't remember the last time we said that. 200,000 jobs added for the month. The unemployment rate ticks down to 8.5%. Market responding reasonably well, but Europe weighs. More, by the way, coming up on the GOP campaign journal at 10:30 a.m. Rick Santorum trying to ride his strong momentum from Iowa into New Hampshire, closing the gap with Romney, why South Carolina's governor is drawing criticism after she endorsed Romney. That and more. Alan Murray is hosting, people. Don't miss it. 10:30 a.m. Evan Newmark. Always a pleasure.
Wow, you got a lot in there.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
How's it going now? Markets Hub 9:30 a.m., Campaign Journal 10:30 a.m., lunch break at noon, Digits at 1, Evan Newmark show at 2 p.m. Don't miss any of it. Simon Consul wraps you up at 4 p.m., Opinion Journal at 5. Have a great weekend.